Hey guys, welcome to Double R Restorations. My name is Russell, and if this is your first time visiting my channel, I want to invite you to subscribe and check out the playlist on my 1972 Camaro that I call Project Overkill. In this video, I'm actually working on the trim studs again. You guys have seen the video on the passenger side where I had installed those trim studs. I was actually getting ready to work on the driver's side, and I found a terrible mistake that I had made on that passenger side, so I'm kind of revisiting it. So I hope you enjoy the videos. Roll that double R footage. Here are the door skins. Now this one right here is the passenger side that you guys seen in the last progress video. And of course this is the driver's side. I have went ahead and put the trim studs on. I've got some of the clips setting up here on the door skin. And I just wanted to show you a few differences. They're really close. The one in the center is an original clip. The one to the left is a reproduction that I bought off eBay that basically had no name on the package. I just had 6 of them come in a little Ziploc bag. And the one on the right is made by OER. And it's just a little bit wider, the OER one is. I was just looking over the passenger side before I committed to the driver's side, and I was just double checking a few things. And I had set the depth on these and got them exactly where I wanted them. I was just double checking them, and I've made a pretty stupid mistake. One thing that I didn't count on was the thickness of the paint. When I would paint these, it's actually, now that they've got epoxy on them, they're actually a little tight. What I should have done is took the end of my dial calipers, came over here and actually measured these just to get an idea how far the standoff was to the door. And on an average, I'm getting about 150 thousandths there. That's 156. But just using the end of the dial calipers on this passenger side, they're quite a bit lower. And I wouldn't think it would make too much of a difference. I can still get the clips on there. They're just pretty difficult to get them on there. What I did, I actually put the piece of chrome on, and they would snap over it, but they were super tight. And actually, I had the piece of chrome on, and the end of it right here popped up. So that's a pretty good little mistake on my part, and us not paying attention. So I will get to enjoy this passenger side again. And what I think I'm going to do is just take a Dremel tool and basically just cut the studs off. I'll take a Rolock, grind them smooth, and then I'll come in with the DA sander, remove the epoxy, same thing from the back, and then we'll weld them up and we'll put new ones right beside of where the old ones are. And I think we'll be fine. Hopefully we'll put this to rest. It's actually cleaned up a little bit better than I thought it was going to. There are some places you can't even tell where the screw is. I mean, I can barely see just a hint of it right in that area. And it cleaned up pretty good. Now the outside, I went ahead and marked where they were at just in case I couldn't see them, but I can plainly see where they're at. I've done a couple practice welds on my test piece, and everything seemed to do good except for there was one here that it did act a little funny, and it had that glue in it. So I don't know how this is going to do on the real piece. I've got the welder dialed in for 20 gauge, and it's not going to take much. It's just going to take a a second or so to weld these holes up. Hopefully we don't have a lot of metal shrinkage, and that we don't blow any holes. Yep, that glue is affecting it, guys. Okay guys, so I'm getting the welds on the front of the panel, and after seeing the way that glue acted and everything, I probably would have been okay just to leave it, but I just felt better if it was solid metal. So you can see in the video that the welder didn't act right. What I found out, it was almost like the wire speed was too slow, but I knew the welder was adjusted right. I knew it was just that glue that was affecting it. What I found out that would work was to hit it with a welder, and it would actually burn that junk out of there. Go back, grind it flush, or not really flush, but grind it down, get that mess of a weld that it put down out of there, and then come back and weld it again. Now, I've been taking my time with it. I actually ditched the gloves. Now, I don't recommend doing that, but I've done that just so as I'm grinding, I can keep a track on how hot I'm getting this panel. This is an outside panel. So one of the things I want to show you, talked a little bit about these grinding stones and everything. When I'm grinding on it, using my finger behind it just to see how hot the metal's getting. And I'll just do it for a second here. And I'll rock this thing through, I'll pick it back up, I'll do another swipe at it. I'm not just getting in there full trigger and just getting at it, because you're going to tear something up. You can see here, you got control over your tools. And at first, I thought this would be a good idea because you could kind of set it and leave it, but I very seldom use it. I leave it wide open and do it all with my thumb. I love that sound. We'll go get back at it. Here we go. Get it done, little buddy. And you can tell how much better the welder acted that time. It's almost as if you're doing a plug weld and you forget to maybe grind the back side of the epoxy off, and that epoxy gets up into the pool. It's kind of like that, but it's probably 5 to 10 times worse. So, but once you burn that stuff out of there, you grind it down, you can come back in and hit it again and it'll act normal. Starting to get, that's a Jeff Lindsay grinding disc. Just gonna hit the edges. Okay guys, like I said, this was a lot of work, but pretty happy with it. I checked the back side of it and I did come through just a little bit. Like I said, I don't think I'm gonna worry about that back side. It's just a folded over piece of metal anyway. Just wanted to make sure that I had good solid metal on this top side, because I cut those studs off, which created a lot of heat, and I really just didn't know how much glue was still under there. Although, like I had mentioned, after seeing the way the welder acted, I'd have probably been okay just to go ahead and run with the epoxy over it, but just was a little nervous about that. And so we did weld it, and not worrying about it anymore. There is just a little bit of metal shrinkage in some of these areas. Not bad at all. And actually, I believe it'll block out. I believe it'll be just enough that the once the epoxy is on it, it'll be fine. Actually, when you strip this epoxy off and you go between the epoxy and the bare metal, you can actually see a gap. The metal shrinkage is about the same as that. So I believe with the epoxy, it'll be fine. So let me bring you in for a closer look, and then we're gonna see if we can't fix this the right way. Like I said, we got solid metal in there now. I feel pretty good about it. That's the one you guys just seen done on camera. And I'm trying to hold this at an angle because, like I said, I don't want it up on that epoxy. You can see there's just a little bit of gap. I mean, just a hint of shrinkage there. Not bad. The one we just did on camera turned out really good. This one maybe shrunk just a tad. Not much at all. Maybe just a tad there on the end. I mean, like I said, guys, that's just a sliver. All right, YouTube, we're just barely coming through on the back side, right where the studs were. So therefore, I don't think I'm going to hit this with a welder back here. Just hit it with a little bit of 80 grit.